Hey guys, SleepingHollow here, and here we're with part 2 with making a model for Unity. Now something I forgot to mention on the first part is that you can actually save blend files directly into your Unity project file and it'll work just fine. You don't have to export as FBX or any of that. So anytime you need to make an edit, you can just open it up on Blender, do what you have to do, save it, and it'll automatically update. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into making the UVs. So first what we're going to do is, the whole basic part of this is just making seams. So think of it as clothing. You're just going to want to get the parts you think have to come together, to make this whole thing work and to be able to flat out into a flat image for the UV. So you can select any of these and make sure you get the whole row. It should go all the way to the top. And then we want to get this top part too. And then we're going to want to move into the base. Just pick any of these and make sure you're Alt Shift and then right clicking so you can save all the items you're selecting. So you got one of those. We want to get the top, and then we want to get the bottom, and that's all you're going to need. So we can go ahead and Control E and mark seams. So now you can see they're defined by those red lines on the edges. So remember, when you're doing this, just visualize it coming apart and try to pick out what parts will have to be by themselves. So now that we have this completed, we want to to select it all, hit U, and then unwrap. Now we can go ahead and open up a new scene, or open up a new window, sorry, not scene, and then go to UV image editor, and there we go. We have all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 parts. So if you think about it, down here this is 1, up that little thing is 2, this one's 3, these are all together are 1, so that's 4, and then this bottom one's the last one, 5th. So there we go. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to visualize how this is going to come out on the texture. And a good way to do that is to go down here, hit New, go where it says blank and change it to color grid and press OK. And there we go, it generates this color grid, so then when we go up here and go to texture mode, we can see how the textures are being displayed. And around the cone you can see it's kind of weird. It's not, it just looks wrong. And we don't want that, we don't want it to come out wrong. So we're actually going to do something that's going to be a little time consuming, but it'll help out with the texturing. So first what we're going to want to do is hit W. We're going to go to Auto Align, right click, add shortcut, and then go ahead and select any key. For me, I'm using the 4th mouse button. But anything you can find that will work, any key that you're not using, go ahead and switch it to that. It'll make it a lot easier. So now we're doing what we can do with the model. We're going to we're going to Alt right click and I'll select that whole line. Then we can just hit that button, whatever key selected. And just take it slow, get each one. And just keep it, do what you have to do. Okay, so I seem to be coming into a problem, which is not one I had to deal with in the past. Which is when I try to straighten this one out, it's actually not straightening out the way it should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to forget that one for now. Jump into working on these. So make sure you select each one. And you should be getting something like what you're seeing here. And you'll see why in just a second. Hopefully this will fix the error I'm having. There we go. Okay, perfect. I fixed it. Okay. So you should have something like this. You can see they're all nice. They're nice and perfectly even. It looks great. And then when we go out to back here, you can see it looks perfectly straight. It's not all crooked. It just came out really nice. Now what we're going to want to do is go ahead and select all these. And just to make sure, just to keep it even, what I like to do is try to size it up with just a bit. And then let's move it down. So now what we see is, we have a perfect amount. You can see each end of it should be touching the white. It's just to make it look a little more formal. This is kind of like, small, more minute details. But if you feel up to doing it, go ahead. It won't hurt the texture too much if you don't do it, but I just like to be a little more perfect. So when you look at it, it looks nice and seamless is basically what we're going for. So now when we look up here, you can see that C3 is a little stretched out. So if you want to go through this, make these changes, you can. So like if we select these and pull them up a bit, probably like there. There you go. That C3 doesn't look stretched anymore. It looks pretty good. And now down here you can see these are upside down actually. So what we're going to do is first go in here and do the same thing we did before. So go ahead and just get, do the horizontal ones first. Then the vertical ones, straighten all of those out. There we go. Now, let's see, let's look at these. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this. And so I believe these are upside down, so we're going to go ahead and flip them. 180. And let's move them up just to see. Okay, see now they're upside up. So we don't have to worry about, fixing those. Those are perfectly fine. And so if we look at this, that's pretty good. That doesn't need to, you don't have to worry about that. And this one is just a tiny little dot, but what I like to do is just extend it more. Because if you think about it, when you're making textures, it'd be nice to be a little bigger so you can actually add more detail into it. So that looks pretty good. And, for this video, that's pretty much it. You've completed the UVs. You have, really nice looking UVs. Let me pull it up again, actually. Don't know why I closed it. But there you go. You have a nice set of UVs ready to go for texturing. So now what we're going to do is we can go ahead and just save it again. And, if you're not happy with them, go ahead and continue messing with the UVs. Just make sure you keep them nice. They don't look stretched out. Just make sure they look good, like you see here. And so what we're going to want to do before we go, make sure you do save it. And this time we are going to make an export of FBX. The reason we're doing that is just so we can open it in Substance Painter, which we'll do in the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this right now. I'm not going to export it to my project since I already have the blend file. I don't need another one. So I'm just putting this in a different file. I'm just going to call it Traffic Cone Tutorial. And import it, or oops, I was importing. Export as FBX. Okay, Traffic Cone Tutorial. And so if you don't have Substance Painter, they do have a 30-day trial on their website. I'll leave a link of it on the description if you want to check that out. And that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.